What's up, guys? The job is done. The car has been painted, it has been wet sanded, and it has been buffed.
My muscles will contract, your bones will crack, it's just a fact, cause I am here to win this fight. I can't fucking breathe, much less believe the truth. I pick up a bed, aim for the sun, and shoot.
The job is done. The car has been painted, it has been wet sanded, and it has been buffed. But before we get to all that, I want to show you what the car looked like whenever I first brought it home.
You should have never doubted me. I'ma work to my last breath, I'ma hustle to my last breath. Yeah, you should have never doubted me. The pain and the struggle followed me. My daddy never been that bothered me. And these cold streets made a man of me. Knew a time it'll come, they doubt me.
So I want to talk a little bit about the time and the effort that went into being able to do this with this car. There was so much work that went into this, and I don't know if everybody truly understands or even if you care, but guys, I bought this car with the intention of doing this very thing to it. You know, I did toss around some other ideas of maybe painting the car a different color and whatnot, but ultimately there's a reason for this, and I'll show you right here. This was my dad's 88 Mustang GT that he had obviously whenever I was a teenager. Loved this car. When I turned 16, I drove it. Always loved it. I've always been a fan of red. I've always loved the silver, so I figured I'd mix it up a little bit, go with a little brighter red, a little brighter silver, make my own version of my dad's 88. It's kind of a tribute car. But guys, there's been so much that went into this. It's just been crazy. It's been nonstop every day. I have worked my ass off on this car. My dad has, Andrew, you know, my brothers. It's been crazy. But I think it's all been worthwhile. Now, I will, before I turn the camera around and show you guys this car, I do want to say the whole car is not done. I still have to do the hood, have to do the roof, and there's a few pieces that have to be replaced on the car, a few trim pieces. But I think on camera, it's gonna look really good, guys. All right, so without further ado, are you guys ready for the big reveal? I'm excited, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm excited. All right, here we go. This was the payoff for all this work. I hope you guys like it. I've still not even got the door panels in the car, as you can kind of see through the windows, I'm sure. And this was my dream. This is what I wanted to do. I told you guys from day one, I'm a Foxbody guy at heart, and this right here is just the ultimate car for me. It really is. It's nice, it's simple, it's basically factory, but I don't know, it just speaks to me, guys. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I'm gushing over this car. I can't help it. I absolutely love this car. This is exactly what I wanted. It turned out basically perfect. Like I said, it's not done. I still have a few things to clean up, you know, some waxing some corners and whatnot, and a few little dry spots here and there where I kind of missed with the buffer. But overall, guys, the car's done. And I absolutely love it. I hope you guys love it. I'm just gonna walk around the car. I'm gonna show you guys, you know, kind of some close-ups, try to get some good angles on it. Maybe I'll throw in some pictures for you guys. And after this, we're gonna skip to me kind of doing some other talking and doing some wet sanding and some buffing and whatnot on the car. So, like I said, this is the big reveal. Sorry I didn't get the drone out. I didn't make a big production out of it because I'm so tired. I know you don't care, right? You just wanna see the video, but it's done. From here, I want to take you over into the wet sanding and the buffing portion of this, and hopefully you can see the aggravation in my eyes and just how tired I was. But yeah, whew, it was rough, guys.
I'm good.
that time, guys. All right, I'm gonna show you the process that I use whenever I wet sand and buff a car. There again, everybody does this differently. I say this in all of my videos, but I need you to understand that, so don't blast me in the comment section because you do it a different way. That's perfectly fine. But the way I do this is I start with 1500 grit sandpaper. That's 2000, 1500. So I use 3M because that's what they sell at the local paint house. But yeah, 1500 grit, and that's what I start with. Now, this car actually has a pretty good bit of orange peel in it. So I'm not trying to get every bit of the orange peel out of the car. On the flat sections, like right through here, I do want to get most of it out right through here. But like right up on the edges, I'm fine with a little bit of that. And the reason is because I don't want to burn through the paint, obviously. I don't want to sand into those edges. I know it kind of looks like I hopped around here, but I started on the rear quarter and got that pretty good, and then realized I needed to come over here because there was a sag in the clear. So I think I was able to work that out. I mean, there's a little bit left, but it's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. But I tell you guys, honestly, it's not really a secret, but a lot of people might not know it. A good wet car, like a really high gloss car, will hide a lot, actually. You know, if there's a little bit of a sag still kind of left right there, that's okay. It's going to be no problem, because once it's really, really shiny, you won't see it anyway. But anyway, I was just going to kind of walk you through the process that I use. This isn't going to be a tutorial. All I'm going to do is just set the camera down, let you see a little bit of how I do this, and I'll show you what it looks like whenever it's fully sanded out, and then I'll show you some of the process whenever I come back and start buffing the car. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just let it dry down. It's actually a sag there. Let it dry down and see if we have any shiny spots left. I'm sure we will, but that way we know what we got to do, because we don't want to take it too far. We just want to get the orange peel out. Okay, so obviously here's your shiny spots. It's kind of hard to see, I know, for you guys, but here, stuff like that. So this car is going to have to be flattened out. All this is going to have to be flattened out, because I do not want this to look, you know, splotchy and orange peel. You know, up around the edges or something, I don't mind having a little bit of orange peel, but I don't want any orange peel in the wide open areas, because this is what you're going to see on the car. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead, finish this up, and I'll get back to you once we get the car all sanded down. And it may be tomorrow, but whenever I start to actually buff the car, I'll bring you along for that. So I want to touch on one thing with you guys. If you decide you want to wet sand your car, and let's say you have like a slight ding or something like that, like we actually forgot that we had a ding right here, and I'm sure you can see it right there. Yeah. Now you might could get, you know, a small depression out, but something like that is kind of pushing it. We've only got 2 really thick coats of clear on the car, so I really don't want to take it any further than that. But in saying that, the way that I block a car if I have a low spot is like this, and I'll show you. The way I do this, if you're trying to straighten a car out, I go up and down. And what this will do is straighten, you know, any imperfections in the body out, and also it'll find your low spots. So I don't know if we have any low spots right here, but if we do, we'll find out in just a second. And we are pretty flat. Got a little bit of a low spot here. I don't know if you guys can see that, right there and right there. Right there and right there. So what I'll do is continue to work this, just block it. I should be able to get those out pretty much no problem. Just a couple little low spots up here, little trash that we're gonna work out. And anyway guys, that's how I block. So I'll go ahead real quick and knock this out for you and show you what it looks like. All right, so on this, you really want to be careful. You don't want to try to get everything out. That's kind of pushing it on that spot. I wouldn't continue to go any further with it. If this doesn't get it out, I'm pretty much going to leave it. And it's looking like it got it out. So there's still just a very, very slight depression. That's fine, we're going to leave that. This is kind of like my preliminary sanding. So what I do is I just go over it, I hit it, and then you can pretty much see all of your low spots immediately. So these are spots that I'm going to go ahead and address right now. Focus on these, and then I'll move forward and see what else I've got. You have to be careful over here on these corners. I'm going to go ahead and finish this car up, at least the sanding portion. I've got this left and a couple little spots here and there. And once I'm done, I think I am going to take you along for at least a little bit of the buffing process. Should be fun, guys. Anyway, stay tuned. So this is it after 2000 grit sandpaper. So as you can see, all the orange peel is out of the car. Well, you know, I leave, like I said, the little areas around the corners and whatnot. You don't want to get in there and dig around too much. But overall, really slick. Thinking it's going to turn out pretty good. So the way I do this is, let's say if I've got my 1500 and I'm going like up and down like this. So when I take my 2000, I usually go across this way. You know, you can change it up some, but I try not to go in the exact same pattern that I went with the coarser grit. And that just helps remove everything and smooths everything out. So should minimize the scratches, because a lot of times you get scratches in these cars unless you're doing really short strokes or you have like a DA with a foam pad on it with like some 3000 grit to go over. You know, I mean, at least I do anyway, but I'm not a professional, so I'm sure some of you guys don't get any scratches, but occasionally you're going to get like a long little scratch or something in there. I do think I want to hit this a little more right in here though. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's got a little orange peel here, and this is one of the spots that really stand out on the car. This area right up through here really pops. So I'm probably going to take the 2000 grit and go ahead and buff that up a little bit more. What I'll probably do is start with the wool pad, get it good, get it the way that I want to, so then I'll transition over onto the foam pad with the other compound. But I probably won't finish this up because it's like 12:38 my time, so I need to get in bed. I can always finish this up tomorrow. Guys, I'm so tired. You know, this has been like an ongoing thing, and one of my subscribers, or it may have been on Instagram, I can't remember, but somebody said, you know, it's like a sickness, and it is. These cars, it's like a sickness. When you get started on something, you know, you just don't want to stop, and that's where I'm at with this right now. But I got to remember, I've got a family, I've got kids, and I've got a wife, so I mean, granted they're asleep right now, still though, you know, I got to do what's right. So I'll show you guys what's going on here and show you a section of it, and then we'll probably pick back up tomorrow sometime. All right, we're going to go ahead and put the buffer on this thing. Probably not going to get up in here because that's going to take a little bit of time. So what I'm probably going to do is just start right here for you guys, just to see how this thing looks. Before we get started, I will show you guys what I'm using. So I'm using the turbo cut with a wool pad, using a finish cut with a foam pad, and just coming in and rubbing that in by hand with a microfiber. So this does the majority of the work. This just comes back and gets the swirls out. As you can see, the shine has already come back, but I don't know if it's going to show up in the video, but if you see this dry edge right here, that's usually a challenge, and that's why a lot of people don't sand all the way to the edge, and typically I don't either, but I really want this thing to pop, so I did. I'm going to show you how to address this. I know you've probably heard in the past, some of you that don't, you know, wet sand and buff or never run a buffer, probably heard, you know, never tilt the buffer up, you know, on end and use the leading edge or whatever you want to call it. but sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. Now right here, ideally you would want a really small buffer with a small pad and come in at kind of a low speed and just knock that out. We don't have that, but I'll show you how to address this. Just dab it so it doesn't sling everywhere. You're going to get this buffer turned up on its side.
Sensation at home away from home in the black Benz limo with a cellular phone. I'm calling up the posse, it's time to get to ripping. I freaking each sunroof to keep you suckers tripping. Everybody's looking, if you're jealous turn around. The AMG kick keeps us closer to the ground. We're getting good grip from the 50 series tires. The Alpine's bumping, but I need the volume.
Alright guys, that's just with the wool pad. So as you can see, I hope you can see that anyway. Anyway, either way, I'm sure you can see that. So really what you want to do with the wool pad is get your shine there as best you can get it, and then all you're going to do is come back in with the foam pad to get the swirls out. So if you're still seeing scratches and whatnot, you need to go ahead and get that out with the wool pad, because the foam pad's just not going to get all those scratches out. Foam pad really is just for swirls. There are exceptions, don't get me wrong. I'm going to go ahead and put the foam pad on it, just kind of show you guys, and that's going to be it. That's going to wrap this video up tonight, and tomorrow I'll come back out here and kind of show you guys exactly what it looks like. A little bit of compound. You want to run this on a slower speed. I usually try to run it about 1600 or so. Okay guys, that's going to wrap the video up tonight. I'm sure you can see that. That's beautiful. That looks really, really good. Well, all right. Like I said, you know, this isn't going to be a show finish, so, you know, don't misunderstand. But, I mean, that's going to look great, guys. That's going to have as good of a shine as you could really ever ask for. I'll put it to you this way. The paint on this car when I'm done is going to be better than it will ever be in its entirety, in its life, because I promise you it's going to get more scratched up than that just washing the car. So it's going to be fun. Alright guys, sorry this was kind of a boring vlog and whatnot tonight, but it's just, you see what I'm doing. I mean, it's just constant work. I don't have anybody to help me with the camera tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and probably finish up this fender right here and go to bed, and tomorrow I'll pick back up, and if nothing else, I'll show you the finished product. See you then. Alright guys, we got it done. Well, actually, I still have this one piece to do. Forgot about that. Other than that though, we are done, and I just put the Shine Master, what is this called? The sealant. So I use the Shine Master sealant on the door here, and this should be the final wipe down of the car, and then I'm going to untape everything, take it outside, wash the car, and then start the reassembly process. So like I told you guys, this car is not perfect. I'm not trying to, you know, make it come across as a show car or anything like that. It does have its flaws, it does have its defects, but for what I'm going to do with the car, which is drive it back and forth to work every day and just enjoy it, this is perfect. So, you know, no matter how good you think you got it the first time, the first pass, you're always wrong. There's a dull spot there, dull spot there, across the bottom. So I'm not done yet. I'll go ahead, touch all these spots up, and fix that roof up there. Do that. I'll just kind of untape everything and we'll roll it out, see what it looks like.
When I'm out walking, I strut my stuff and I'm so strung out. I'm high. high as a kite, I just might stop to check you. When I'm out walking, I strut, I stop, and I'm so strung out. And I'm high as a kite, I just might stop to check you. Body and beats, I stain my sheets. I don't even.
Come on, try a little. Nothing is forever. It's got to be something better than in the middle. But me and Cinderella, we put it all
All right, she's all washed up and we are going to end this vlog. Now, I will get the car out, I'll drive it for you guys, get the interior cleaned up, and we'll sit down and we'll kind of do a recap on what we did and just really talk about the car, get some good pictures of it, get some good video, kind of talk about the cost and just overall what it takes to do something like this and the mindset that you have to take on a task like this. So now that it's done, hopefully I can slow down here pretty soon. Got a couple things I need to address, but hopefully we can get this thing back up and going and kind of get back on a regular schedule as far as the videos go. Now remember, the baby is coming, be here in a couple weeks or so. So with that being said, I think we're out. Memphis, you got anything you want to say? No, nothing? You want to tell everybody hey? Tell them look at my cool bike. That's a boy's bike. All right guys, as always, thanks for watching.
Teach him how to stand.